Hi everyone, Greg here. So I am taking a short break from my regular content because I wanted to make some comments about the YouTube's latest decision to remove the dislike counter underneath the videos. And I'd just like to say I really disagree with it and I think it's a very poor decision. One big issue I have with it is the official reason that YouTube has given is to protect creators of all sizes and protect them from harassment and dislike attacks. This reason would be fair enough if YouTube didn't have such a really bad reputation already when it comes to listening to its creators and protect what is for many their livelihood. And of course, we're all very suspicious, all of us who know anything about YouTube, that the real reason is to protect the big creators, the big Hollywood studios, the governments putting out videos that see very high dislike ratios. Those are the ones they are really trying to protect. Ghostbusters 2016 is apparently one of the most disliked videos in the history of YouTube. Now, I don't want to discuss here whether the movie was good or not, and if you like the movie, that's fair enough. You have your opinion, and that's fine. However, the fact remains that the vast majority of the people did not like this movie and they wanted to express themselves, and so they did with the dislike. So now when you go to the trailer page for that movie, I can see that there are 322,000 likes for this page. Now YouTube is misleading me into thinking that this was a really popular movie, because 322,000 is a large number and I'm not able to put this in a broader context by looking at the dislikes. Only by finding more context outside of YouTube am I able to see that 300,000 likes is still half the dislikes that this movie had 5 years ago. So YouTube is giving me that false impression and it's making me believe that this movie was very popular and very well liked by the general public, whereas all those who do remember very well know that it most definitely wasn't. I do find it interesting though that right next to the trailer, YouTube promotes the original Ghostbusters movie. I mean, I guess with YouTube, money talks, and they clearly have made a decision that they can make more money by promoting the original movie. And it's not like you cannot buy or rent the 2016 Ghostbusters movie on YouTube. It's just that if you do want that one, you're gonna have to really look for it. So I guess YouTube couldn't erase all the traces of the high dislike count. What bothers me the most about this decision is that basically you're suppressing the voice of the people. In a democracy, people need to be able to express themselves. They need to be able to say that they dislike something, that they disagree with something, even when you personally don't agree with the general feeling. And so removing the dislike button is suppressing that, and that's not a good thing. Now, technically, legally, as a private company, YouTube has the right to do that. I just don't think it's a very wise decision. Now, one consequence I'm concerned about is that disliking a video is a way of venting your frustration, venting your anger, and if you cannot express those emotions in some way, especially as innocuous a way as just pressing a dislike button, that means that emotions might build up inside, they might fester, and then they might eventually be expressed even more strongly. This has the potential of making the internet even more toxic than it already is. So by removing the dislike button, YouTube is depriving me of good information. What if a particular product or service is being promoted in a video? The high dislike ratio could give me a hint that maybe this is a scam or a really bad product. And now I'm not going to see this anymore. Instead, I'm going to see the more misleading information that there's a big number as the like count, and I can more easily be fooled into thinking that the product is really good, whereas maybe it really isn't. Also, YouTube gave me no option to opt out. I cannot decide in my settings to show you the dislike ratio. For instance, you're going to watch this video, you're going to see a particular like count, you will not see a dislike count. You're not going to have a very simple indication as to whether people generally agree with what I'm saying or not. I am very pleased to say that as far as my personal experience goes, YouTube has generally been very good to me. All of my videos enjoy very high like to dislike ratios, and the comments are also overwhelmingly positive. I do understand that YouTube and the internet as a whole is a bad experience for a minority and that they do experience harassment and dislike attacks. I believe that issue is very serious and should by no means be dismissed. However, hiding it is not the solution either. It's also important to point out that creators already have the option to completely disable likes and dislikes. And I do wonder whether YouTube did consider other options. For instance, what about considering a feature whereby you must watch at least 33% of a video before you either like or dislike? I guess that number really shouldn't be 100, because if you really dislike something, you probably shouldn't be made to watch the whole thing. And while we can disagree as to whether some videos are good or bad, something we should probably all agree with is that regardless of your personal views, you really should not judge a video unless you have actually seen it. Okay, so like I said, I will go back to my normal content, and I would like to point out to my subscribers that there is a poll on the community tab and you can vote. Let me know what kind of videos you'd like to see in the future. You can get your voices heard here on this channel. So give me a like, or a dislike for that matter, nobody will see it. Give me a comment, subscribe, and thanks very much for watching.